Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Arkham Asylum. The asylum is open for
Is
visitation.
everyone recording?
Let's party.
Is everyone recording?
Ready?
Yeah, I'm recording.
I'm recording.
31 seconds in.
Okay, so start it up.
What's up, guys? This is episode 25
Yeah, special 25.
in
Number
the Asylum.
25.
Special number anniversary number 25. I'm Marco.
I am Paul.
I'm Joe.
So what's up, guys? How was your guys' week?
Well, I went to Universal on Saturday, and I should have known that it was a bad day to go to Universal the moment I saw that there was a 70-minute wait to get onto the Incredible Hulk. There is never a 70-minute wait to get on the
I
Incredible
mean,
Hulk.
isn't that partly because Epic Universe is open too?
Yeah, but I wasn't at Epic Universe. I was
I
at
know.
Islands of
So
Adventure.
you're
You would
saying-
everywhere.
figure,
They're everywhere, aren't
yeah.
they, right now?
You would figure that everybody would be over there and not so much over
So
at
you're saying
regular.
that's
was
high.
crowded.
You're
Yeah.
saying saying that's high, 70 minutes. What is it usually, would you
70
say?
minutes. Usually to get on the Hulk, it's like 10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
Sometimes it's 5,
Oh,
especially
really?
during the day.
It's going to be that way for a while now.
Yeah, I'm going
Probably
to
a
have
couple
to.
years because of how busy
Well, no,
Epic
he's saying
Universe
it's
is.
too busy there. He's saying
I
it's
know.
busy at Universe. So
It's
you've
because of everybody's there for Epic Universe.
So they'll end up going to the
They're gonna
other
do
park
both.
by proxy.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
that
I
makes
see what you're
sense.
saying. I see what
So
you're
I'm going to
saying.
have to go on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays
But
and
I
such.
but I bet now's the time to go to Disney.
Ugh.
Disney's probably really busy too.
I doubt it.
I think more families go to Disney.
Dis-
No, I agree. Like with smaller kids,
Yes,
Yeah, for
100%.
but I think it's gonna put some. It's
And,
gonna put some damage. To
maybe,
Disney, man.
maybe. I feel like more people that are coming from different countries are going to go to Disney, not so much Epic Universe,
Yeah,
right?
Which makes me not want to go to Disney.
I know, I'm saying.
It's just going to expand the theme park audience.
Yes,
You're just
that's
going to have
true.
more people going to both.
Which means Orlando traffic is gonna suck even more.
Yeah, but
Yep,
they're
highly recommend getting that Sun Pass and
For
taking
real,
those express
yes.
lanes because those
Yeah.
express lanes are usually dead.
yeah, and they're expanding those express lanes too, more closer to Disney and stuff like that.
Good.
So I think the express lanes do go to Universal now, like they're there, but then they cut off like right before Disney.
Yeah, they
I-
cut off at like mile marker 80 or 77 or something.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I take them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, so I think that they're expanding them, which is good.
I hate traffic, man.
Yeah, so do I.
It's especially when people drive so dangerously too.
They
They'll
do.
ride your ass.
It's just
like
it's,
get off me, man.
It's
What's
just
the point?
so hot to go to.
It's
theme parks,
miserable out.
man.
It's miserable.
It's not fun.
No, that's
I
the
mean,
reason.
Kids, I get it, but like adults, nah, man.
Did you see what happened on the Disney Dream? I know we're talking about like Disney and
Cruise?
theme park.
Isn't
The
that the
Disney
cruise?
Dream cruise ship. Yeah, a kid fell off of it.
Oh, they went overboard.
Went overboard.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
I'm not even joking.
How
Feet
old?
last. I'm not sure of the age. I know it was younger kid, whatever.
Man, overboard.
But so this is just unbelievable. Really think about it. The kid went overboard, and there's sensors, I guess, that let people know let them know if they go overboard. As soon as the kid went overboard, within like 10 minutes, the kid was back on the ship.
How?
Nice.
Dude,
so
like,
they
it's-
have divers and such that'll go and rescue people.
They do have. Well, yeah, they have divers that will go rescue people.
How
But what
did
happened?
They
So
find him.
so the kid went overboard, right? The dad jumped in right after.
Was it stationary?
No,
It was
no,
moving.
it was moving. Yeah, it was on its way to Fort
And
Lauderdale.
those things go faster
Yeah.
than it looks.
A boat
Yeah.
goes about 30 miles an hour, so that boat has left you
Gone.
pretty far behind.
Yeah.
within a matter of moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the father jumped in.
no more like
Yes.
15 miles. An
I mean,
hour, but still,
you're high
So
up too.
yeah, it was four. It was four up, whatever. The
Deck four.
Deck four. The kid
Damn.
fell in, whatever. The dad jumped in right after, right? Within minutes, they said they stopped. Everything was stopped moving, right? They said it was like kind of like crazy how
Couldn't
well
imagine, man.
they had to be prepared. Obviously, they're prepared for
I
anything,
cannot
right?
imagine.
They had life like flotation
Yeah.
devices in the water almost instantly. They said, and within like 4 minutes or something like that, they had a boat in the water getting them, and then they were back on the
That's
ship within 10.
amazing. That
It is amazing.
But
That's
how?
cool.
What I'm curious, how did the kid fall overboard?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know about that part.
if you remember Superman 2, remember the kid at Niagara Falls? He jumps over the other side of the fence. He's like, whoop, whoop, whoop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
He'll
I
hold
know
the
what you-
fence.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
but I
falling
think the
back.
precautions.
Kid was goofing
on
off.
on cruise boats are a lot different than. It's literally hard for a kid to go overboard.
You would have to fight to.
Well, kids climb, right? So they probably had the one that had the outside balcony.
Yeah.
And the kid was probably climbing, and luckily, the kid didn't hit like the floor or something like that. I mean, that could have been worse,
Luckily,
right?
I mean, still, man, falling from that height and those waves
Yeah.
from the boat and everything. He's lucky he didn't drown.
because
Yeah,
you can
very lucky.
He's
easily
lucky he
break your
found
neck
him. Even
falling
if he
from that
even
height.
if he
Yeah.
jumped off, doesn't mean you're gonna go in the water. You're gonna be submerged for 5 seconds. By the time you come up, you still gotta find the kid.
Yeah, they found it's crazy. It's
Lucky.
really good. They did.
Did he make a sound like an ah hoo 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 hoo? Because that's a tall fall right
It
there.
is.
You can tell Paul doesn't have kids.
No, he doesn't. 'Cause that's
No.
scary.
No empathy.
No, you're just like whatever. One time I was on the boat and they had a boat out there, like a boat, and like if there's a boat out there, like for maritime law or something like that, like you need to stop. So like the cruise, like ship stopped, and they sent someone out there to go explore the ship that was out there.
That's
There was like it was like maybe like I don't know, like a little boat, almost maybe 15 feet or something like that. You know,
And it was
And-
empty.
it was empty. Yeah.
So what did they do with the kid after he got back on the boat? Did they give him some kind of punishment for being a bad kid?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know that
Behind
far.
closed doors, I'm sure.
No, I mean them. No, they're probably very thankful, right?
Yeah,
that kid on a leash.
but he jumped off of
Yes.
a boat, Joe, and
Yeah.
he got the whole crew.
I don't think
roused.
he probably fell. He probably climbing and he fell.
Yeah, I would think so. And you know something? You know what might happen after this? Because you always wonder, like when you're at Disney or Universal, you have those trams that kind of take you places, and there's doors on them. 100% someone fell off, and they probably tried to sue him or something like that, right? Now, on those balconies, what's on the balconies? Like, what do they have on those balconies?
What do you mean?
Like, you...
On a monorail?
Safety procedure?
No,
The
yeah,
safety
no,
thing?
on a cruise ship. On a cruise ship,
There's nothing.
there's chairs.
What are you talking about?
So, you know, like on the balconies on the cruise
lounge
ships,
chairs?
there's like lounge
Yes,
chairs and
yes,
chairs.
yeah.
Are those going to go away now?
But you know what I never... You know
Well,
what I
you're
don't
not gonna fall
understand?
off a boat sitting in a chair.
But if a kid's on a chair playing and they kind of like
Here's
fall
what I don't
off,
understand. Like if you go to Daytona 500, you go to a sporting vet, you go, they have fences, but then they have stuff in case debris comes in and stuff. Like, why don't they put like, you know, they have the guardrails, right?
Mhm.
But why don't they put something a little higher that goes like this and just bends in?
Why would
know
they
what
do
I'm talking
that?
about?
Why don't they?
That's what I'm saying. Why don't they?
Uh huh.
For this problem. So that if a kid climbs,
Oh,
you can't climb if it's
I
like,
see what you're saying.
if it's coming, if it's coming in towards you,
Uh huh.
you can't climb to go over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's what I mean. That's what
Something.
think
I
they
feel like
should do.
something's probably gonna be put in place now, right?
Yeah. Well, for sure, especially if it happened on a Disney cruise, because you know Disney's like,
What happens if they take away
Disney's
lounge?
They
like
are about
God.
that. Yeah.
What happens if they take off the chairs?
Then people won't be able to sit down anymore.
Maybe you have to request them, like chairs in your room or something like
what?
that.
Did it have something to do with a chair? Did he climb
No,
the
I don't
chair?
know, but I'm guessing. I know that kids
So-
do climb on chairs a lot.
Yeah,
You're
but I
saying
don't
to
know-
not encourage
what's the-
loitering? Or?
You can climb the actual rail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, like being a parent, one of the first things I do is, Nick, do not climb ever on any
But
of
why
these
not?
things.
You know how when you're on a cruise and there's the rails like this, like they're horizontal.
Yeah.
Why not just eliminate the horizontal rails and just make it to where it's flat all the way up and make it high enough where if it's a kid under like 8 years old, they can't reach the top.
Hmm.
I think they should put a steel cage over the top of it. And then that way, even if they climb up, they're just climbing on the monkey bars. There's
So
no
they're
way you're
like,
getting
so
out
it's like a
that
bunch
boat.
of monkeys.
Yeah, like a bunch of monkeys.
So
Exactly.
what happens if there's a fire on the boat and people have to escape the boat?
Better have some extra fire extinguishers.
I think the curved thing is a really good idea because it doesn't have to be high because it's easy to fall off if it's not curved.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So if it's curved, they can just add like little guards
Right. That's
and it
what I'm
probably won't be
saying.
that bad.
Mhm.
That's
I
probably a
thought
good idea.
about that. I think the last time I was on a cruise, I thought about it. I'm walking. I'm like, man, what happens if a kid climbs up? How do you account for people?
What do you mean?
Wow.
What do you mean? How
On
do
a
you
cruise,
count?
you're on a 7-day cruise.
Yeah, you're on a 7-day cruise.
Right? 7-day cruise. Let's just say I wanted to commit the perfect murder. Let's just say,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
I just take somebody in the middle of the night and throw them right overboard.
Well, there's sensors. There's sensors.
What do you mean there's a sensor?
That's what went off when that kid went overboard.
Yeah.
There's
They
like,
have sensors.
you know how you have sensors like on your car
Yeah.
that when you're going into the wrong lane.
So there's like an invisible like force field
Like
or
a
something?
Not a
motion
force
sen-
field, just like
a
motion
motion
sensors.
sensor. So as the body's falling down towards the water, it trips
it's
the
hitting.
sensor.
It's hitting all these sensors. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
That's pretty
Okay.
cool.
That's what's happening.
All right.
100%.
That's
So
awesome,
I mean,
actually.
how do they get that kid out of the water within 10 minutes? It's
I got
unbelievable.
no clue.
Because
That's-
I mean, do you even want the boat company keeping account of you and your whereabouts
They
at
do.
all times?
they do 100%. Everyone has one of those card keys, right? So anyone who goes onto that ship, you have to scan. Whenever you're on that ship,
Yes,
they scan it.
when
Whenever you leave
the boat, when
yeah.
you come back
How
on,
you
they
gonna
have to count everybody.
How you skip by it? Like, how do you skip it? You can't skip it.
No, not if you leave and get on. You have to go through the metal detector and everything. You have to go through everything.
Mm-hmm. So, and they are, and I mean, when you go to like a stop, right, and you go to like what do they call
an
it?
island, a port?
Yeah, port, whatever. I mean, they check everything because you can't bring anything back in because of taxes and all, and people
diseases, everything. Yeah,
I don't know about diseases.
Well, I know why they
diseases.
Isn't that why they don't want you to bring
International
fruit and
cruises.
food on the boat?
Have you ever?
I'm not
taken,
sure if that's
like,
the reason
a trip
why.
to
It is.
India
Insects,
or to Africa,
yeah,
or one of
it's-
those places. You have to
Get
have
shots,
extra
yeah.
vaccination,
Yeah.
right? Because different diseases live in different places.
Their insects carry different bacteria than ours and stuff.
Mhm.
and you will die.
That's why they don't want you to bring in fruit, plants, anything.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
didn't think about that. I thought it was just because they just didn't want
that's
you to
why
take
you
it.
can't bring, like, if you go on a cruise and stuff, when you come back on board, unless it's like candy and shit, like if it's fresh anything, you can't bring it back on the boat
Mm-hmm.
because of that.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, especially vegetables and stuff like that.
Well, I know you can't drink like the water in Mexico
Yeah,
or ice and stuff like that. It gets you sick
yeah.
because your body's not used to it.
I watched
The poop cruise?
Yeah, I watched it.
How was it good? I didn't see it.
Oh my god,
The
was
who?
it good? No, it wasn't good
Why?
because it's
You're
like,
scared
oh
now?
my god. I mean, that was torture these people went through.
What? Wait, what was this you were watching?
It's on Netflix. I know you don't have Netflix.
Yeah, I don't have Netflix. but what
Netflix,
is it?
they have a thing. They have a documentary called "The Poop Cruise."
The
So
poop
what happened?
cruise.
I don't remember the year, but I don't know. It must have been 10 years ago or something.
Mhm.
There was a cruise on Royal Caribbean, I believe, a Royal Caribbean cruise that went out, and I think it was like a 4-day cruise. And while they were in the middle of the sea, the power went out on the boat. Something malfunctioned. There was a fire. They controlled the fire, but all the power went out. They couldn't get it back on. But the cruise line didn't want to, for negative implications, they didn't want to release a lot of the information on the news because it was on the news and stuff.
Yeah.
But they just basically said the ship was stranded in the middle of the ocean. They lost power. What they didn't say was there was no power. That means you can't flush your toilet.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So they were like, they went over the radio and told, the people on the cruise, they were like, please do not use your toilets. You're talking thousands of people. I mean, how many thousands of people on a boat?
Oh, a couple thousand? Depending on how big the boat is, 4,000 people
4,000 or
maybe?
5,000 people. Do
Including-
not use the toilet.
So
Including-
do
What
they
we're going to do,
provide emergency buckets?
Paul, you gotta move
No.
a little closer.
poop bags.
Poop bags. That's gross.
So they gave bags this size, hazard bags, because they didn't have enough. They had this bag,
Mm-hmm.
biohazard bags, and people were like, because they had interviews with people on the boat, they're like, they slid these bags under the door and they looked at them, they're like, how do you even do that?
I mean, you don't.
How are you able to
Yeah.
sit and put a bag under you and
You can line the toilet bowl, but
not with a bag that's this big?
you need to provide people with big old buckets.
They
so I
weren't-
figured
they
that
weren't
ships
prepared,
kept
obviously.
like scuppers on the
They were
on board,
not
like
for
bedpans.
5,000 people.
I mean, you just slip it under the bed, right?
Slip what under
That's
the
a
bed?
lot
the
of poop.
bedpan.
That's a lot
Yeah,
of
the
poop, though.
bedpan,
Man.
in
I
case that ever happens.
think you're
They don't
underestimating.
have that.
I think you're
Paul.
underestimating the amount of
I-
poop.
5,000 people shit
Yeah,
in
5,000.
a bucket, and you're saying put it under the bed.
Does the ship have 5,000 beds?
Yeah.
Can
then
you imagine?
have space underneath the bed for 5,000 bedpans.
Do you imagine how
Just
much
in
that
case of
smell, though?
emergency.
Are you nuts?
What are they going to poop in if the power goes out?
What I'm saying is
They
that
give them a poop bag? That's not going to work. You
Well, it
just
had
said
to.
the
They
poop
did.
bag's not going
They
to
did.
work.
so the one thing cruises do more than anything is feed you.
Yeah.
So now imagine you're on day 3 and the power goes
Yeah.
out and everybody's eating everything in sight.
Well, they probably had to stop eating, right?
all
Huh?
you could eat buffet.
They
the
probably
big
no
out.
more, like all you can eat stuff. Like they had to stop eating, control the eating.
Yeah. So, I mean, bro, this is what I'm saying. So
Stop feeding them.
people didn't listen, obviously. So they still pooped in the toilets.
Of course.
They pooped in the showers.
That's not funny, man. That's gross. Man.
So-
That's gross. That's funny, but not
At
real.
first, it was all right? But now, because of everything going on and people trying to flush still and stuff, now everything started backing. Oh, there was a bad storm at sea. Everything started backing up.
How long were they out there for?
3 days.
Get out of here. Why was someone not, like, another boat coming to save them?
How many people died of dysentery?
I think it's because they didn't state it as like a massive emergency because they were more scared about the publicity.
Yeah.
So now they're showing this. You can watch it. They show video, like people took video and it's all backing up.
Mm-hmm.
So they were describing it as what people had to do was they were pooping in the shower. And what they would do is they would take towels or toilet paper and just cover the shit and piss with towels and stuff, and then re-shit on top, then cover and re-shit. And one of the cooks were like, it looked like a poop lasagna was just building up.
Why wouldn't they take the poop bags and throw them overboard?
Because a lot of people didn't use them.
Or at least take the paper towel. You could still get a hold of the poop bag, right?
What do you mean?
They offered you the poop bag.
Yes.
Here's what you do. You don't poop in the bag. You poop in the shower, and then you scoop the poop, put it in the bag, and then throw it over the side.
I have no idea.
Because people are
Because
idiots.
5,000 people don't listen, for one.
That's a good point. Why didn't they just
Yeah,
poop? That's a good point. Why didn't they throw the poop
People
in the water?
don't have survival.
Poop-
So
crisis.
now
poop
it
in the
all
water.
overflowed, right? Everything
Yeah.
overflowed. Now the whole entire boat is covered in 3 inches worth of sewage as you're walking.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Can you
That's gross.
imagine that?
That's
Because
gross,
people
man.
don't
That's
have
gross.
any sense at all.
But you're right. But so if you throw poop in the water, it's naturally it
It's
will be
biodegradable.
yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Fish
Why
poop in the
didn't I
water
think
all
of
the
that?
time.
Maybe a lot of people thought it was just going to be temporary at the beginning. Like, oh, they're going to get it back on. We'll just like poop
Yeah,
in the
but
toilet.
you're not going to just be able to flush down the poop out of your shower, especially if you're
You
pooping
know, he's
logs.
talking like, I guarantee you he would have been one of the people that would have done all this shit that everybody else did.
Well, now
I
maybe
hope
not.
I hope not,
Maybe.
but I think you would have, Marco.
Oh, damn right I would
I
have.
wouldn't have.
I would have pooped over the
See,
side.
I think about
Huh?
these
I would have
things.
pooped over the
Yeah.
side.
How?
I wouldn't have pooped
How do you
over the
poop over
side.
the side of a cruise boat when we just talked about
Well,
the railings?
Well, I mean, there was those railings.
Your ass cannot fit between those railings.
See, I just had the pipes go out in my kitchen sink. So you know what I did?
You
So
pooped
that
in the sink?
Did you poop in the sink?
No. Let me finish for once.
The poop apartment?
For washing dishes. It went out in the kitchen. So I went and I bought a bucket, and you use the bucket to catch all of the hot water, wash the dishes. And then when the bucket is about full, you take the bucket, take it outside, dump it, bring it back in, and start washing the dishes again so that you don't have any water going into the backed up kitchen sink pipes.
That's great.
Crisis management.
That's great. And that's
Yeah.
one of you, right?
What's
Not
that?
5,000 of Paul's, right?
Well, then I still would have been suffering. But yes, what I would
So
have
where
done,
do you buy?
I would not.
Where
have
do you
kept
buy a
shit
bucket
in
when
my
you're on a
shower
ship,
and covered it with
stranded
toilet
in the
paper?
middle of the ocean?
Would you have taken a shit in your sink or your tub and then covered it with paper towel, hoping everything was going to be all right?
Well, it's
Were
not.
you?
It's not my sink.
So
And it's not my tub.
you would have done that.
I mean, I would have probably thought it, but now if you're a family that most people go on boats on, and you've got little kids and stuff,
Pick up the poop.
try managing that.
I think.
Pick up the
Listen,
poop
I
and
think
throw it over
they
the
didn't really
side.
think
You
about
have to
this.
manage it.
They were not good problem solvers. 100%. Why not take one of the drawer out of? There's so many drawers in there, right? You
Uh-huh.
put your clothes in, take a drawer out. Everyone just poops in that, right? And then you toss it overboard.
You don't want to poop on anything wood. It'll be hard to clean and get the.
Well, I mean, I think
Say
they'll be
throw
worth.
the whole thing overboard.
Oh,
throw the whole-
dresser? No, you just.
Ooh,
You just.
that's
get
probably a
hold
good
of the
idea.
poop
No, that's
bag.
true. No, you can probably poop in the drawer and just throw the whole thing because wood's just gonna break down. Boom.
I mean, it's a lot easier said than done when you're
That's what I
not
would've
there, and the stress level isn't through
Yeah.
the roof, and you're trying to get food and there's no food, and you got kids crying, and it's
It's a lot, man.
So
It's a
the
lot.
key being, don't lose your head in a crisis.
Do you think you have to? What do you think? Like, what kind of compensation do you think they all got?
I saw it. It showed it.
Oh, really?
So what they did is they compensated the cruises.
Oh, okay, good.
They gave them a free cruise and I think $500 cash for each person or
That's
something
all?
like that.
They should be like a free
$500
cruise for
cash.
life.
Hey,
Did anybody die during this excursion?
It didn't say anybody died, but
Then
they
probably didn't.
to clean the boat completely and stuff, I think, and repair all the repairs was like $150 million or something like that.
Well, I mean, they all made sacrifices for us because now I'm sure there's precautions, right?
Yeah. I
Now
hope.
they're like, okay, what do we need to do?
I hope.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, obviously the news got a hold of the real story because they had
The
people
real
call-
story?
Well, yeah, because you remember I said like they were trying to cover it up at first, trying to say
Oh.
it was just like a malfunction.
Is Netflix really the news, though?
But
Well,
as
real
I
news.
finish talking,
Sorry.
Oh, dang.
they the people I guess the people from the cruise, you know, they still had cell phones and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think they called and be like, "Hey, something needs to
Oh,
be
yeah.
done." because they were complaining. They had people saying, when, what's going on? Why isn't anybody out here trying to help us?
Yeah. Because Mhm.
So
That's crazy.
yeah, but you should watch it, man.
I don't know.
Especially you, because you go cruising a lot, man.
I do. But I try and I should, but I would be getting anxious now.
It was disgusting.
I'm already anxious enough on a cruise.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna be like, oh man.
And they said people were acting like, like they were stuck on an island. Like people started turning into like
Zombies. It was like
they
zombie
were just
apocalypse.
turning mean. Everybody was mean, like being territorial. Like people were like stealing mattresses and stealing sheets from everybody else to sleep on the outside. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like it was. They said it was getting pretty bad with that.
I think I saw some like a preview. I saw people, they were up top,
Yeah,
like sleeping out there.
and the heat and everything.
Oh man, that's a mess.
Yeah,
Royal Caribbean, huh?
and I think it was Carnival.
Oh, well, that's the reason why we don't go on Carnival.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we do not go on Carnival.
And Carnival, please put bedpans underneath.
And
beds
on top
in
of
case
that,
something like this ever happens again. Have a plan in place because eventually it's going to happen, and you're going to be back on Netflix.
Hopefully not.
Carnival,
It'll happen.
and Carnival's a party cruise. Like
I
it's
know.
known to be a party cruise. There's a bunch of 21-year-olds drinking and partying. Oh, and the other mistake they did
What?
to try and like calm everybody down in the middle of all this,
Yeah.
open bar.
Oh.
That's a good idea, though.
Is
People
it?
pee.
Now
You got a bunch of drunk
idea.
people walking around.
Now we find out why people were pooping in the shower. It starts to make a lot more sense. They were soft.
Not only that, they said people were like, because nobody's staying inside. You know what I mean? They said people on the outside, like having sex, like
wild animals.
They were not, were they?
yeah,
Even during this whole thing?
yes.
Well, first off, there's probably not a lot of kids now. It's Carnival. So that kind of goes away.
I mean,
That stress.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it was fine.
yeah, they said people were just sitting there
Okay.
pissing over the,
Yeah,
Listen
that's
over the
you would
side.
have
drunk,
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's a terrible
All right, let's
situation.
change the subject.
Okay, let's
We're
go ahead and
great
go to let's talk about the shop. But before we talk about the shop, let's just kind of mention to everyone that we are recording live. So if you want to go ahead and watch
Yeah,
this episode,
first time
it's probably be
for
a bunch
episode
of
25.
mistakes. So
Yeah.
because we're working on the video, this is our first time recording. We might do things here a little bit different with the recording next time. But if you want to check us out, go check out our YouTube, and you can watch this episode live
Yeah,
that we're recording. Yeah. So
on YouTube, Arkham Asylum.
Hell yeah, let's go.
yeah. So let's talk about what happened in the shop this week.
Okay, so let's see the shop. So as we know, we got Mark Spears coming in 2
Yes.
weeks.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it, and I knew it'd be a good turnout, but I'm a little frightened at this
Why?
point because in the past couple of days, so Jesse James, if people are familiar with him, has he sold it, but he used to have a card shop in Arizona, and it was a massive card shop. Jesse
Mhm.
James been in the
So
industry.
he sold that.
Yeah, he's been in this industry. Well, somebody took over his lease, but he's been in the industry, I think 35 to 40 years he's been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows a lot of people. He's very well known, very knowledgeable when it comes to the comic book community, knows a lot of big people. So he had his soft grand opening on Friday, and his guest was Mark Spears. And this was in DeLand. He did it, he didn't promote it very long. It's kind of put together really fast. So
Because you never mentioned this to me at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I went there to say congratulations and give some support. And he had a line out the door, a line. And I'm talking like when I say line, not 3-4 people. He had like 40 people in line at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Wow.
And Mark Spears wasn't there till 11. So he had an exclusive comic that he did just for his shop that was limited to 100 copies. It was $100, and then he's charging $30 a signature. So $130 for the book and the signature, but he was signing whatever you had to, limit of 10 per people. So it was a good event. Like Mark takes a lot of time with his fans, which is cool. Like you go up there, he doesn't just sign and then you walk away. Like if you want to sit there and have like a couple minute conversation, he'll sit there and talk to you. He really appreciates fan, really nice guy. So it went great from what I saw. I ended up getting a copy of the book, which I'm especially now I'm going to definitely hold on to for a while. So I'm sitting here, I come back to the shop, and I'm doing, I'm pricing cards and stuff. And then I get a text message from Jesse, and he's like, "This is bananas." That's what I see as the heading. And I look at it, and he sends me a screenshot of an eBay sold listing of the variant that he had from the Mark Spears, and it sold for $650.
Mm-hmm.
The one book. I mean,
That's quite a
limited to
jump.
100. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's quite a
it
jump.
is.
Like, this is how much people go after this man's work, like Mark Spears. So now he's like, if you thought my line was crazy, yours is going to be 3 to 4 times that size. And I don't doubt it, because I mean, we were getting calls and stuff, and I was getting messages on Facebook and Instagram, probably a couple a day, which is a lot for this event that's happening in 2 weeks. But ever since Friday, it's been nonstop. Like, the calls at the shop, the messages on Facebook, Instagram, people are like, can I get a copy? And I was like, the only way you can get a copy of our book, which Mark Spears is doing an exclusive for our shop, but the difference is it's limited to 50 instead of 100.
Oh my gosh.
So they're like, I want to get a book. And I'm like, no. I said, the only way you can get a book is if you get here in person and you wait in line like everybody else. And as soon as people start getting in line, I'm going to hand out numbers. Because I feel bad. Like, if people are going to start line, I have people saying, I'm coming from South Carolina, I really want a book. And I'm like, the only thing I can tell you is get here early. So he's like, if I'm there at 5 o'clock in the morning, would I be early enough? And I'm like, I hope so. I'm like, 5 in the morning, he doesn't get here till 12:30.
Yep.
So the way I do is, because I'm not gonna sit there and, if we have a line of 30 people and they're here at 6 in the morning and I hand them numbers, I'm not gonna be like, you have to wait in this line in this heat for 6 hours. I'm like, here's your number. You got here, you came early. If you want to leave for a half hour, whatever, as long as you're here by the time he gets here, you have your number.
That's a good idea.
So I'm going to give everybody a number if they come early, and that's how I'm going to do it. We also had some people complaining about the way, I guess there was a couple people that, I guess husband and wife came with like 2 babies and strollers, and they were like, we need 4 tickets. And obviously,
No.
right, exactly.
One
So
ticket per family.
No.
I'm going to say per adult. I'm going to do per adult, because if, let's say you have a husband, or let's say you have a father and a son and they're both collectors.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm going to say per adult. So if a husband and wife come and they're, 6 and 7, I'll give them 6 and 7. But if you come with like 2 3-year-olds, you're not getting.
Is there a
2 more
limit
tickets.
though? But,
One per person.
But what happens if someone comes here and bring like 15 friends?
You get 2 per group. That's it. So if you bring a
can't.
husband, a
That's a
wife,
good
and a
idea.
kid,
Awesome.
you do 2
But
per
you see
But
what I'm
how
saying?
do you do that? But what if like I'm like, hey, Mike, John, I know you're fans of Mark Spears. Let's all go together. And then, those 4 guys that collect Mark Spears, 2 of them are going to get it.
Yeah.
It's a very thin line,
what
but
it's going to be
That's
is
why you just gotta
subjective
do it and make the
scalper
rule.
tests.
I'm just
If
gonna
you're
do
trying to pull scalper crap.
I'm just going to
you're
do
gonna get
no
called out
kids.
on it. Yeah. I hope.
It's going to be adults. I mean, for God's sake, his stuff isn't very kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Blood and guts, baby, and sex and nudity.
Does it?
Yeah, it has boobies,
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going
titties.
to do per adult. So you bring 4 kids and it's you and your wife are getting a ticket, but the kids are not getting a ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm going to try and get it. I'm going to try and get it in as many people as possible's hands.
Yeah.
Because not everybody are flippers. Some people actually are like completionists and they want it, and the price is already $200 for this book because of how limited it is. I don't set the prices he does, but it's going to sell out. I mean, I've already had a couple,
yeah.
I've already had a couple people say, God, $200. I'm like,
What, 50 copies? That's
50
going to be selling
copies.
for like 800 probably. I mean, I think you
at
have
least
a lot of people.
800.
Yeah.
I think at least 800.
It's
I mean, I want a
$200.
copy. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get a copy.
Well, you're going to be here giving out the tickets.
I know, but I feel like it's not very fair.
I think it's fair.
We'll see.
You put in the
I
work.
have people saying, hold me a copy. Oh, I had some guy call and be like, hey, my buddy that was there last week, you saw him there. He can't make it. He asked me if I can get him a book. Since you know he wants a book, I said, no. I said, I'm not going to give you 2 books for your ticket.
Mhm.
I said, you get 1 book.
Yeah.
I said, if he can't make it, he can't make it. You know what I mean? I got people from South Carolina coming. What if that book is the book that they're not going to get because you're taking that space for your buddy?
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that we're going to have people here probably 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning for this.
I would think so.
Yeah. And there's a convention that same day in Jacksonville. I think it's
Is he going? Is he going to that?
Comic Con or something.
Is he going to that?
No.
Okay.
And those guys are my friends, and I'm sure they're probably not happy with this, but listen, Mark Spears says this is the only date I can come. I can't say no.
Exactly.
You know, I have a business to run, family support. I can't say no. My buddy's having a convention. I had to say yes. This is literally the only day he can come.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do it. Is it going to affect that? I mean, people can come here and then go there. You know what I mean? But
For sure.
I'm sure it's going to affect it. I mean, I'm sure it's going to affect our appearance as well. You know, I'm sure some people are going to pick going to the con instead of coming to a shop to get a signature.
Yeah, that could be.
And I must say this too. If you don't get a hold of this very exclusive book, it's not the end of the world. There
Right.
will be other exclusive books coming around the pike. Now, this week, I'm going to put out a very special article in the blog about managing the addictive nature of this hobby that we've engaged in, namely comics and cards. If you're getting so bent out of shape over getting this one particular copy that you would do anything to get your hands on it and cheat other people out of a fair shot of it, it might be time to take a step back and look at what's going on with life a little bit, I think. So
It's almost like you're saying intervention, huh?
You might want to give yourself a brief intervention on this because it's not the end of the world. It's going to be fun. We're going to be streaming here. I'm sure all sorts of stuff is going to go on. If you're one of the lucky people that gets a hold of the book, great. If not, great. It'll be okay. You're still going to get to see Mark Spears. You're still going to get all your cool books signed. And we've got some other stuff that you can buy.
Yeah.
A couple of issues. And it's going to be okay.
I've got half a short box I've accumulated of Mark Spears stuff that'll be for sale here for the sign.
And you're going to have other specials going on as well that day. Is that correct?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Now, some other things happening in the shop is we got our first batch of graded books back from the Monster Collection.
Okay.
Lots of keys, man. It's crazy. I mean, the books came back good. We were hoping for higher grades. Everybody always hopes for a higher grade, but we've got massive keys in the shop right now. Monster books. So they're all over the walls and now in the other side. So we're really excited about that. Saturday, we had a collection come through the door of Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So were you here?
I wasn't here. But you're talking about the one that my son got some things out of? No, a different one. Okay.
So we had people call. We had this ended up being two girls call, but she's like, "Hey, do you guys do Pokemon?" And we're like, "Yes, we do." She's like, "Okay, we have a collection." And then we're like, "Well, what kind of cards is it?" "Oh, it's from our childhood." And we're like, "All right, bring them in." So these girls moved down here from Pennsylvania, these two girls, and they're trying to start over. So they need money to maybe down payment on an apartment or something. So she's like, "I have my childhood collection." And, you know, a lot of people say that with comics too. And you're like, okay. And they come in and
they've been read.
Yeah.
And they show that
they're dollar books and stuff, you know, but she brought in her stuff and we were like, I mean, it was like top end Pokemon stuff from like 90s. And she was like, collected everything. She brought in like 5 binders and we're looking at it and we're like, there's $20,000 in Pokemon here.
That's
and
crazy.
then she's like, well, I have 20 more binders in the car. And we're like, what? And she's like, yeah. And they're like, go get it. And she's like, no, I don't want to get those. She goes, that's my good stuff. And I'm like,
that's your good stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, what? So it was hard for her to part with them. We gave her a fair deal. It cost us a lot of money. We ended up getting it, but it was a crazy collection of cards.
Wow.
What's she going to do with the rest of them? Just keep them, I guess? So
her girlfriend was like, we need the money. I mean, they're both in their 30s. And she's like, we need the money. We're starting over. This is why you did this. This is why you collected these cards. Now you're an adult. We're starting over. This stuff is liquid.
Mm-hmm.
Start over.
That's the dream.
Right?
Not everybody, that doesn't work out for everybody.
Exactly. So you have 50K in cards right here. That's a nice chunk to start over.
Yes.
So that's what her girlfriend was trying to tell her. Like, listen, you're an adult now. We're moving forward. We're in a new state. Let's sell it. We have the ability to make money here. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So she said, I'm going to work on her. We'll be back. I was hoping they would have been back yesterday. They didn't come back yesterday, sell the rest, but I'm probably assuming they're going to be here this week. So I'm pretty excited about it to see. I haven't even seen the rest of it. She didn't bring it in. She wouldn't bring it in
Interesting.
because I think she was more worried about us convincing her to sell them, or her girlfriend being like, "You brought them in, sell them." You know what I mean?
And if you're listening, please take them out of the car and put them in a cool space. Do not let those valuable cards melt.
No, it's hot.
They are wax. Wax melts.
So so that happened.
That's cool.
That was really.
Why
good
didn't you
for the
call
shop.
me, man, to record that?
Bro, it was kind of spur of the moment, you know? So, plus they were a little tipsy too, so.
Ooh.
You shouldn't have mentioned that.
So,
Live.
so then, so now this weekend we have the Ultimate Banger Show
Yes.
And
And we are recording that.
in Sanford.
Yeah.
It's at
I'm going to be there.
It's called the Tactical Center in Sanford.
Okay.
If anybody looks at you can go to ultimatebangercardshow.com, I think it is, and you can find it. It's in Sanford. It's Saturday and Sunday. We'll be set up there. It should be a good show. If you guys are looking for, it's a buying show. So if you're looking to purchase, you can. It's not like Collecticon or Comic-Con where you're going to go there and you're going to see prices 20% above fair market value. Like, you're going to find deals at this show.
Mhm.
So if you're going to buy cards, sports cards, Pokemon.
Is it mostly Pokemon or what?
I think it's about 50-50
50?
Pokemon
Okay.
and sports.
That's cool.
If you're going to buy cards, this is the kind of show you want to go to. It's a buying show.
Not really much for Magic.
You know, I'm not going to say no, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of Magic there.
Okay.
I know it's heavy sports,
Hmm.
which I'm excited about instead of always Pokemon,
Mhm.
you know.
Hmm.
But Fanatics Fest was this past weekend in New York, which I'm gonna let you know we should take a trip to New York next year for Fanatics Fest.
That sounds good to me.
I mean, because you're a sports guy,
I am a sports guy.
but there's so many celebrities walking
Really?
around.
Okay. Yeah. Because celebrities, they like.
Tom Brady went to some guy's booth, and he's a big card collector. He's opening a bunch of shops.
I would feel like a lot of athletes and celebrities are card
He's opening
collectors.
140 shops in the next 2 years called The Vault. Tom Brady's The Vault. They just had their flagship store, I think, open in Manhattan. It's beautiful, by the way, of course. But he was at the show because it's owned by Topps.
Mhm. Topps is
Michael
going off.
Rubin owns Fanatics. So they had all, Topps has exclusive partnerships with Tom Brady, LeBron James, bunch of people. So they were all there. Tom Brady was walking around buying stuff. He went to a booth and he dropped $250,000 on one card, a LeBron rookie, graded rookie. Like right there, boom, $250K. And then Michael Rubin was on stage and the owner of the Washington Commanders was there with Jaden Daniels next to
Oh,
him.
wow.
The majority owner?
Yeah.
What's his name again?
I forget his name. But he was up there and he goes on the mic. He was flexing his money. He's a billionaire. He's flexing. He's like, I want to know, in front of the whole convention, I want to know who has the number one Jaden Daniels card right now. And then the guy, I forget his name, he's a card shop owner. He's like, I got it. And it shows the video. You can watch it on YouTube. I got it. It's the Black Prism 101. And it is. It's right now, I think it is the number one card. I got it right here. And he walks up and he's on the bottom level and the guy's on there. He's like, Michael Rubin points him out. He goes, what do you want for that card? And he's like, I had Serena Williams' husband put a bounty on it for $250K. I want $2 million. And they're like, oh, everybody's like, and he's like, be realistic. What do you want? And then the guy from Washington, the commander, says, I'll give you $500,000 right now for it.
Did you take it?
Of course.
He said he wanted $2 million though. Why is he?
He wanted $2 million, but he got offered.
I'd been like $1
Because
million.
he was full of
that, exactly. That's exactly. You're right. The first offer from a billionaire is $500K.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like $5 a
Yeah,
minute.
the
Okay.
negotiate would be
Go
make it
back
$1 million.
to $1 million.
Yeah,
Right.
put a million.
I bet you would have got $1 million for it.
I think so.
Yeah.
But still, I mean,
That's a lot of money.
that's life changing.
100%.
Yeah.
So he got $500K for a piece of cardboard.
That's unbelievable.
Crazy. And Jaden Daniels was on hand to sign
He
it?
was right next to him. I don't know if he signed it, but he was right next to him.
Wow.
So he sold it for
The first thing you should have
$500K.
done is like, Jaden, as my employee, I'm going to have to ask you as part of your job
But
responsibilities to sign this card.
This is where this
What's the guy's
This
name?
is-
Rubin?
Michael Rubin.
Is he related to Paul Rubin?
I don't think so.
You mean
Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee Herman?
And Pokemon's gone nuts,
I was
as
just
we all
joking.
know. But we have one of our very good customers that buys a lot from us. Pokemon. He stopped collecting Pokemon.
He stopped?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now he's doing sports.
Okay.
So he came in yesterday and he was like, I'm going to I'm doing sports. And I've been watching a lot of sports stuff. He's right in a lot of ways because Pokemon, you can hit big in Pokemon and it's very liquid. Like you can turn around and sell Pokemon. You can close your eyes and sell Pokemon. Like, especially if you hit, no doubt about it, you can sell it. But he realizes a box of Pokemon, even a high-end box, like a box of Evolving Skies, which is the hottest probably box besides vintage. You can buy, it's like $3,000 for the box, a sealed box, but that's because people keep it sealed. If you rip it and you pull the Rayquaza out of it, it's like $2,400 raw for that card, right? So this guy's like, that's my max. That's where I max out at. That's where I max out on a pack of cards. You look on the sports side, if you invest money, if you pay $500 for a hobby box, your max is $20K, $30K you can hit. Does it mean you're going to hit $30K? Of course not. It's gambling.
It's gambling.
But
100%.
He's looking at the upside. There's a better chance that I'm going to pull $1,000 card out of a sports box than there is Pokemon. And he's 1,000% right. So he transitioned to sports. So yesterday he came and he bought sports, and I was trying to explain to him, if you're trying to hit, because we have retail and we have hobby. If you're trying to hit, you gotta buy hobby. You're gonna spend more money. You gotta spend more to make more.
Yep, that's true.
You gotta buy hobby if you want to maximize your value. You gotta buy hobby. So he bought some retail, 2 boxes of retail, and then he's like, I have hobby packs you can buy. They're $25 a pack. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, because you're guaranteed at least numbered cards. Could be a 1 of 1, could be out of 10, could get an auto, you can get this. You don't know what you're going to get, but there's more guarantees in it. So he's like, all right, he bought 5 packs. He left. And I said, and he has Andrew's number. I was like, yo, if you hit anything, message Andrew, I hope you hit. Obviously, I say that to all my customers. 15 minutes later, he messaged Andrew and he hit a numbered auto out of 5. It wasn't a monster player, but you're talking
it'll still probably make
$200 to $300 just on that card.
Yeah.
If that would have been like Jayden Daniels numbered out of 5, then you're talking
thousands,
$4 or $5 grand.
Yeah.
But that's where that's at. So
most of the time you're looking to make your money back when you got that box, right?
To be honest, most people that buy hobby boxes understand that more than likely you're not going to make your money back. So if you buy a box for $400, right? You have fun ripping it.
Yeah.
The excitement's there. If you get back 200, you almost consider that a win, even though you lose $200.
Yeah.
You still got some money back.
You found something really cool that you wouldn't have otherwise.
So the other boxes that I had to go all the way to Florida Mall for was those Chase boxes.
Yep.
The lids came out with boxes called Chase Series 2. They came out at Fanatics. They sold out. There's like 562 boxes made, and we got our hands on 5. Nobody in our area had them because only the flagship stores have them, Lids stores. So we had to drive to Florida Mall to get them. I opened one. I got a beautiful Pete Rose Reds with pins on it, velour. I got an Ichiro silk or satin hat. Awesome. All stitching, because you bought one. The stitching is top notch. Mitchell and Ness, the best, top of the line. And then I got an autographed Cal Ripken hat, which they're not guaranteed in every box.
No.
Then you were like, hey, I want it. You were going to come with me and you were going to buy one. Then you'd say, hey, can I still buy
But you were
one?
already like almost halfway there.
Yeah. So I was like, of course you can get one I'm not going to charge you anything more because you were going to go anyway and get it. So you got one.
I did.
And the first thing you could say is, man, I hope I get a Mets hat.
I got so lucky.
And I think you said Piazza.
Yeah, because that's the one that I saw in the video.
Yeah.
That's the one that you're wearing right now,
is.
Joe.
And sure enough,
that is cool.
Sure enough, show the inside, the stitching.
Look at the stitching.
Look at that.
Wow. Now that's some breast cancer awareness.
Yeah. With the pink.
Yeah.
So he pulls the Piazza hat.
That's
beautiful. He pulls a
Cal Ripken Jr. So with the pins.
Who?
Cal Ripken Jr.
hat with all the pins.
I like that one.
And then he pulled an autographed
Roberto Clemente
hat.
Yeah.
So we both hit really well.
Yeah,
and it comes with a pack of cards, which you hit a James Wood.
I did.
And we sleeved it, right?
We did sleeve it, yes.
I mean, I can almost guarantee it's at least a $50 card.
Yeah.
And then there's a scratch off in there, and you got to think your chances are pretty good on that scratch off.
You
Like
think
we
so?
didn't win. Well, yeah. If there's
I
562,
guess. There's got to be one in there, man. You should open them.
bro,
We can go see, like, the World
We have
Series.
3 sealed,
Dude, can you imagine if the
and
Mets go to the World Series?
taking everything in me not to open them.
And for those of you that don't know, Marco has like phenomenal luck. Like a luck roll for him would be like a 19 or 20 for you D&D players out there. But he opened 3 packs of Final Fantasy.
Oh,
Not 3 boxes.
3 packs. Yeah.
3 packs. Pulls a Buster Sword and a Traveling Chocobo, which are mythic rare. And you imagine the odds of hitting one of those in 3 packs, let alone 2. It's phenomenal.
I mean, listen, I'm not always like you hear about the good ones, but like for instance, yesterday I bought a box for $800,
Mm-hmm.
and I might have made $100 out of it. That's a loss.
We're still building a legend, though.
Yeah.
So, talking a little bit about gambling, and you're actually going to do a little bit of a piece on our blog.
Yeah,
Paul,
we're gonna
about it. Want to talk about that?
managing this, yeah,
Okay.
so that it doesn't become a harmful addiction. And I think the rule number 1, a little spoiler alert on this, is don't buy more than is in your budget. Set your budget limit, set your expectation, and figure out what you really, really, really want. Let's put 3 reallys in front of it and not just 2. And when you manage that, you know what it is that you really want to get, your heart's desire. That way you don't get your heart's desire and 15 other things and you feel like a glutton. And then you're like, oh my God, what am I going to put in towards the budget this week? Where are the groceries and gas coming from? Manage it. Know your game plan when you're going in. And that'll be very helpful for you and keep this a fun and productive hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're going to write a piece and hopefully we get that out this week sometime?
We'll have it on Tuesday. It'll be out on Tuesday night.
Okay. Do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, because I don't want to talk about the Mets because
They're not doing
Are
very
they
well.
Are they on the skids?
What-
we dropped 13 of
Yes.
15 games.
Yeah. That's,
wow.
Paul, what do you usually say, though?
What do I usually say?
It's a long season.
It is a long season.
It's a long season.
160 games. It's more games than you ever need to play in a season.
Yeah.
But Soto's not
It'll
doing
turn
bad
around.
either.
Huh?
Soto's not doing terrible.
Soto's actually doing better than he's ever done. The
I
rest
know.
of the team's doing horrible.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a long season. They're still in second, not down by that. They're like
Yeah, they're
3
down by,
games
I think,
behind or something.
2 or 3 games.
Yeah, so it's not terrible.
I mean, we started with a 4-game lead, but
Yeah, let's not talk about that. Let's just try to think about the positive,
It'll all
Marco.
turn
Yeah.
around.
Positive.
It's
I mean, we
baseball.
get hot in July. That's what we did last year.
Yeah.
We got hot in July.
So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up the
Wrap
show.
it up. All
Yeah,
right.
go ahead and check us out on YouTube. Check out, we're recording live right now, so go ahead and
First
check
time
that out.
recording live. So, yeah, check out our YouTube
Yeah.
channel for sure. And come see us this coming weekend at Sanford Tactical, the 2-day card show.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Mention our podcast, and we'll give away something to everybody that mentions our podcast.
Oh, give
Come
away
see us.
something? What happens if I say something? Will you give me something for free?
A kick in the ass.
Okay, sounds good. I'll take
Is that
it.
fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just be sure to wear the rubber-toed shoes.
Yeah. So with that, signing off. This is Marco,
This is Paul.
I'm Joe.
and we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Doodly doodly doo.